The blue glow of emergency lights cast eerie shadows across the metal walls of the human ship starward as Kate Mason hurried through the narrow corridor. Her heart raced, not from the physical exertion, but from the news she had just received. An alien princess was being sent to the ship as some sort of diplomatic gift. Kate was a simple technician aboard the Starward, not someone who dealt with interspecies politics. She fixed engines, calibrated life support systems, and occasionally helped with communications equipment. But she had never expected to be chosen as the human representative to receive an alien royal. The ship had been in deep space for nearly 3 years on a scientific mission to study distant star systems. The crew of 50 humans had grown used to their routines, and the occasional contact with other species was usually limited to brief exchanges of information or resources. Captain Diane Rogers had called Kate to the bridge earlier that day. Her face, unusually. Sirius A transmission from the Zeltarian Empire has requested a human representative to receive a royal gift, she had explained. The Zeltarians are an advanced species with technology far beyond ours. We cannot refuse without risking offense. Kate had nodded, wondering why she was being told this information. They specifically asked for our newest crew member. Captain Rogers continued, the least politically significant person on board. They want to present one of their princesses to you. Kate blinked in confusion. To me? But why? The captain sighed, rubbing her temples. They claim it is a great honor, but our diplomatic team believes this is one of their social games. The Zeltarians are known for their strange sense of humor and complex political maneuvers. We think they are testing us or possibly mocking our species by giving a royal to someone of low rank. Rumors spread quickly among the crew as Kate left the bridge. Some said the princess was being punished. Others suggested she was a spy. A few even whispered that the Zeltarians sometimes ate humans, though no one could cite a single instance of this ever happening. Now, as Kate approached the docking bay where the Zeltarian vessel would arrive in minutes, she felt wholly unprepared. Her blonde hair was hastily pulled back into a ponytail. Her standard-issue uniform still had a grease stain from that morning's repair work. She had no diplomatic training, no royal etiquette, no idea what to say to an alien princess. The ship's AI announced the arrival of the Zeltarian shuttle, and Kate straightened her shoulders, trying to appear more confident than she felt. Several senior officers stood behind her, including Security Chief Olivia Martinez, who had made it clear she considered this whole arrangement suspicious. The airlock hissed open, revealing a slender figure with iridescent lilac skin and eyes that seemed to contain galaxies. Princess Lyria of the Zeltarian Empire stood before them, wrapped in flowing garments that shimmered like liquid starlight. Her hair, if it could be called that, resembled fine silver wires that moved slightly as though underwater. Even standing still, she seemed to flow like a liquid, being only temporarily holding humanoid form. Greetings, human Kate Mason. The princess spoke, her voice like wind through crystal chimes. I am Lyria, third royal descendant of the eternal lineage of Zeltar. I come as gift and guest to your vessel. Kate swallowed hard and attempted the formal greeting she had been hastily taught. I welcome you, Princess Lyria, to the Earth Science vessel Starward. I am honored by your presence. The princess tilted her head, studying Kate with those unsettling eyes that somehow expressed both ancient wisdom and childlike curiosity. Kate felt like a specimen under examination. Behind her, Chief Martinez stepped forward. Princess, you bring no attendants, no guards. Lyria shifted her gaze to the security chief. I require none. The agreement was specific. One princess, one human, no others. Captain Rogers moved forward then. We have prepared quarters for you. Princess Lyria. Kate will be your guide during your stay with us. She will show you our ship and answer any questions you might have about humans. The princess nodded. Find this acceptable. She turned those galaxy eyes back to Kate. I look forward to learning about you, what the captain and crew did not know. What even the Zeltarian High Council did not fully understand was that Lyria had orchestrated this arrangement herself. As third princess in the royal lineage, she had spent years studying humans, finding them fascinating, while her people considered them primitive. Humans were adaptable, creative, and possessed something the Zeltarians lacked: genuine emotional depth behind her calculated exterior. Lyria had been planning her escape from royal duties for years. Kate's quarters had been moved to accommodate the princess. The ship had no luxury suites, but they had combined 2 crew cabins to create a more spacious environment. Kate would serve as both guide and neighbor, sharing a small common area with the alien royal. The first night was awkward. Kate showed Lyria the environmental controls, the food synthesizer, the communications panel, and the hygiene facilities. The princess observed everything with intense interest, asking detailed questions about how humans slept, ate, and cleaned themselves. "Do you require assistance with your biological functions?" Kate asked hesitantly. Unsure of alien protocols, Lyria made a sound like tiny bells ringing, which Kate later realized was laughter. "I am fully capable of maintaining my physical form," she replied. "We are not so different." Despite appearances, over the next few days, Kate was relieved of her regular duties. Her sole assignment was to show Lyria around the ship, explain human customs, and keep the princess entertained. The crew watched with varying degrees of curiosity, amusement, and suspicion, expecting the princess to be disgusted by human ways. Instead, Lyria absorbed everything with remarkable interest. She spent hours in the ship's library reviewing human history, literature, and science. She requested access to the medical database studying human biology, with particular focus on reproduction, a topic that made Kate increasingly uncomfortable when asked to explain certain details. While the captain maintained that this was still likely some elaborate Zeltarian prank, Kate began to wonder if there was something more to the princess's visit. Lyria seemed genuinely fascinated by humans, especially their emotional connections. Humans form bonds without biological necessity. Lyria observed one evening as they watched crew members laughing together in the recreation area. "You choose your connections, your friendships, your mates. This is unusual among advanced species." Kate hadn't realized this was unusual. "How do Zeltarians choose their connections? We do not choose," Lyria replied. Her galaxy eyes seemed suddenly distant. "Our roles and relationships are determined before birth. I was created to be a diplomatic princess. My genetic sequence, my neural patterns, my entire existence was designed for this purpose." Kate felt a chill at these words. "You had no choice at all." The princess turned to her, those eyes now intensely focused. "No choice, no change, no deviation. That is the Zeltarian way. Perfect, eternal, unchanging. And that, Kate Mason, is why I am really here." 1 week into Lyria's stay on the Starward, Kate found herself increasingly curious about the alien princess. She no longer felt nervous in her presence. Instead, she found their conversations fascinating. Lyria asked questions no one had ever asked her before about human emotions, family structures, and personal choices. "What is love to humans?" Lyria asked one evening as they shared a meal in their common area. Kate had introduced her to various Earth foods, though the princess could only safely consume certain synthesized options. Kate paused mid-chew, considering the question. "That's complicated," she finally said. "Different kinds of love feel different. Family love, friendship, romantic love. They all have their own qualities." Lyria leaned forward, her silvery hair moving like underwater plants. "Please explain the differences." Kate thought carefully. "Romantic love is like wanting to build a life with someone, wanting to be with them through good and bad times. Friendship is caring about someone, without the physical attraction. Family love is this deep connection that stays even when you're angry at each other, and human mothers love their offspring," Lyria stated. "This is different from other species I have studied." Yes, Kate nodded. "Most human mothers would do anything for their children. It's probably the strongest bond there is." "Why do you ask?" Lyria was quiet for a moment. "In Zeltarian culture, children are communal property. They belong to the Empire, not to individuals. Those who contribute genetic material never interact with the resulting offspring. I have never met my creators." Kate felt a wave of sadness at this. "That sounds lonely." The princess tilted her head. We do not experience loneliness as humans do. It is simply our way. There, conversations continued like this over days, Kate explaining human emotions and relationships while Lyria shared details of Zeltarian culture. The more they talked, the more Kate realized how fundamentally different their societies were. Zeltarians valued order, stability, and genetic perfection, while humans cherished freedom, choice, and emotional connection. During the second week, Lyria requested to observe various crew members at their duties. She watched engineers repair equipment, scientists analyze data, and medical staff conduct routine examinations. She seemed particularly interested in Dr. Gail Wilson, the ship's chief medical officer, and her interaction with patients. Dr. Wilson has what you call bedside manner, Lyria observed after one such session. She touches patients to comfort them even when not medically necessary. Kate nodded. Humans often need physical contact, especially when they're scared or sick. Touch can be healing. Zeltarians rarely touch outside of necessity, Lyria revealed. We can sense each other's neural patterns without physical contact, but we cannot sense humans this way. You are silent to our perception. It is fascinating. On the 15th day, Captain Rogers called Kate to her office demanding a progress report. Is the princess revealing any useful information about Zeltarian technology? The captain asked. Their propulsion systems, their weapons. Kate shook her head. We mostly talk about cultural differences. She seems more interested in learning about us than sharing their secrets. The captain frowned. This whole arrangement still feels like some kind of test or trap. Keep your guard up, Mason. Remember, she's not human. No matter how human she might appear. Kate left the meeting troubled by the captain's words. She had begun to see Lyria as a person, not as an alien threat or diplomatic pawn. The princess was intelligent, curious, and surprisingly vulnerable in her fascination with human emotions. That night, as they watched the stars from the observation deck, Kate finally asked the question that had been troubling her. Why did you really come here, Lyria? What do you want from us? From me. Lyria was silent for so long that Kate thought she might not answer. Finally, the princess turned those galaxy eyes. To her, I chose you specifically. Kate Mason. Kate nearly choked on her synthetic coffee. What do you mean you chose me? The captain said I was assigned because I'm the newest crew member. Lyria smiled, a gesture she had been practicing to appear more human. I reviewed all crew files before requesting this arrangement. You were ideal for my purpose. Kate set down her cup slowly. What purpose exactly? The princess moved closer, her iridescent skin glowing softly in the dim light. I wished to escape my predetermined path. In Zeltarian culture, there is no change, no choice, no freedom. I was created to be a diplomatic princess, one of 17 identical siblings designed for this role. Our DNA, our neural patterns, even our thoughts are engineered. I have spent my life playing my assigned part while secretly studying humans. Why humans? Kate asked, though she was beginning to understand. Because you change. Lyria whispered. You adapt. You choose, you love. These concepts are revolutionary to my species. We have existed for millennia unchanging, stagnant. We need something new, something unexpected. Kate felt a shiver run through her. You want to defect? Lyria made that bell-like laugh. That is a simplified way to understand it, yes. But my plan is more complex, more significant. She leaned forward, her alien features softening. I wish to experience motherhood as humans. Kate stared at her, incredulous. Motherhood. Our species reproduces through genetic merging in laboratories. Lyria explained. We are assigned roles from conception. I want something different. I want to bear a child naturally, to raise it with love as humans do. To create a new being who will have choices. But that's Kate struggled to find words. That's not even biologically possible. We're different species. Lyria held up a small device that pulsed with soft light. With Zeltarian technology it is possible. Our scientists have developed methods for genetic compatibility. The child would be a true hybrid, first of its kind. Kate felt, dizzy from the implications. You want to have a baby with a human. With me. Your psychological profile indicates strong nurturing tendencies despite your lack of children. Lyria touched Kate's hand. Hesitantly. You are intelligent, adaptable, and your genetic structure is surprisingly compatible with mine. I have been studying humans for years. You love your children in a way my people cannot comprehend. I want to learn this. Love Kate pulled her hand away, her mind racing. This would change everything. About human-alien relations, possibly creating a bridge between species or triggering interstellar conflict. It could be dangerous for everyone involved, especially the child. I need time to think about this, Kate said finally. This is too much to process. At once Lyria nodded. I understand, take what time you need, but know that my people will eventually realize my true purpose. The window for decision is not infinite. Over the following days, Kate found herself torn between duty and a growing connection to the alien princess. She consulted Dr. Wilson in strict confidence, explaining Lyria's proposal. The doctor was initially shocked. Is that even possible? She asked cross-species. Genetic compatibility is unprecedented. According to her, it is. Kate replied, she's shown me the technology. It's far beyond our science. Dr. Wilson frowned. Even if it's possible, the ethical implications are enormous. Have you considered what life would be like for such a child? Neither human nor Zeltarian. Possibly rejected by... Both Kate had indeed thought about this constantly. What if the child faced discrimination? What if it had health problems? What if it blamed its parents for its existence? But she had also begun to imagine other possibilities. What if the child became a bridge between worlds? What if it helped humanity and Zeltarians understand each other better? What if it could choose its own path as Lyria wished? The crew had noticed the growing closeness between Kate and the princess. Some found it amusing. Others, concerning Chief Martinez, had started monitoring their movements more closely, suspecting espionage. The captain had warned Kate multiple times about getting too close. But Kate saw something in Lyria that others missed, a genuine longing for, connection that transcended species. When they talked about human concepts like choice, freedom, and love, the princess seemed almost hungry for understanding. She was not merely studying humans, she was trying to become more human herself. 3 months into Lyria's stay on the Starward, Kate made her decision. She had spent weeks weighing the possibilities, considering the risks, and consulting with Dr. Wilson. The doctor had agreed to help if Kate chose to proceed, though she still had reservations. The two women stood in the ship's observation deck, staring out at the vast expanse of stars. The Starward was currently orbiting a gas giant, its swirling storms visible below them. The ship's lights were dimmed for night cycle, giving them privacy. If we do this, Kate said quietly, there will be consequences for both of us. My people might see it as treason. Yours might consider it contamination. The child would belong to neither world. Fully Lyria nodded, her luminescent skin glowing. Softly in the dim light, I have calculated the risks. It is worth it to me. The Zeltarian Empire has existed for millennia. Unchanging. Stagnant. We need something new. Something unexpected. She placed a hand gently on Kate's cheek. Humans adapt. That is your greatest strength. I want our child to have that gift. Kate took a deep breath. Are you certain this technology works? Has it been tested? Lyria removed the small device from her pocket. It pulsed with gentle light. This genetic harmonizer was developed for research purposes. It has been used successfully to merge Zeltarian DNA with 6 other species, though never with humans. The resulting offspring have shown remarkable adaptability. What would the procedure involve? Kate asked. The process is simple and painless, Lyria explained. The harmonizer will extract genetic material from both of us, merge the compatible elements, and create an embryo that will be implanted in me. Zeltarian females can adjust their reproductive systems to accommodate various biological requirements. My body will adapt to nurture the embryo and the child. Kate pressed. What would it be like? Physically? Mentally? The princess considered this. The child would have characteristics of both species. Physically, it would likely have some Zeltarian features: iridescent skin, heightened senses, extended lifespan, but also human traits, emotional capacity, adaptability, possibly even your eye color or facial structure. Mentally, it would have both Zeltarian analytical abilities and human creativity. The combination has never existed before. So much remains unknown. Kate thought about her own childhood, about her parents who had encouraged her to explore, to learn to become whoever she wanted to be. She thought about Lyria, created in a lab, assigned a role before birth, never allowed to choose her own path. "I want to do this," Kate said finally. "I want to help you create this child. But we need to be careful. We can't tell the crew." "Not yet." Lyria made her bell-like laugh sound. "Joy is not a common emotion among my people, but I believe I am experiencing it now." They planned the procedure carefully. Dr. Wilson would provide access to the medical bay during night cycle, when most of the crew was asleep. She would monitor the process and help keep it secret, at least until they were certain it had worked and the pregnancy was viable. A week later, the three women met in the dimly lit medical bay. The doctor had disabled the automatic logging system, claiming routine maintenance. She looked nervous but determined. "This goes against every regulation in the book," she muttered as she prepared the equipment. "But sometimes regulations need to be challenged." Lyria lay on the examination table, her flowing garments replaced with a simple medical gown. Kate stood beside her, holding the genetic harmonizer according to Lyria's instructions. "The process is painless, but intimate." Lyria explained, "You must hold the device between us, touching both our bodies simultaneously. It will scan our genetic structures, identify compatible elements, and create a viable embryo." Kate nodded, placing one end of the device against Lyria's abdomen and the other against her own. The small object began to glow more intensely, pulses of light moving through it like heartbeats. Kate felt a warm, tingling sensation spreading from the device throughout her body. Not unpleasant, but strange. She watched as Lyria's lilac skin seemed to become more transparent, revealing complex patterns of light beneath the surface. Dr. Wilson monitored their vital signs. "The princess's readings are fluctuating, but within safe parameters. Your readings are normal." "Kate." The process took nearly an hour. The harmonizer pulsed faster and brighter, until suddenly it dimmed, leaving just a soft glow. Lyria gasped, her galaxy eyes widening. "It is done," she whispered. "The genetic material has been merged. The embryo is forming." Dr. Wilson quickly ran a scan over Lyria's abdomen. "I can't believe it," she said in awe. "There's definitely something there. It's unlike any embryonic structure I've ever seen, but it appears stable and healthy." Kate felt dizzy with the implications of what they had just done. They had created a new life, a being that had never existed before, a bridge between two vastly different species. For weeks afterward, nothing seemed different. Kate continued her duties while Lyria pursued her study of human culture. The princess experienced no symptoms that might reveal her condition. The three women kept their secret, each wondering if the procedure had truly worked or if the embryo would prove non-viable. Then one morning, Kate found Lyria staring at her reflection, her hands pressed against her abdomen, where a small but distinct bump had begun to form. "It worked," she whispered with awe. "Our child grows." Kate placed her hand beside Lyria's, feeling the firmness of the small bulge. "Can you sense anything?" "About the baby?" Lyria closed her galaxy eyes. "I feel changes in my body systems adapting to support the new life. And there is something else, a presence, a consciousness forming. It is not like a Zeltarian mind. It feels more open, more variable, more like yours." The pregnancy progressed faster than a human one, but slower than a Zeltarian gestation. Dr. Wilson monitored it secretly, using portable scanners during scheduled health checkups for the princess. The embryo developed rapidly, showing characteristics of both species. As Lyria had predicted, by the 5th month, Lyria's condition could no longer be hidden. Her slender frame now clearly showed the pregnancy and her movements had slowed. The crew began to notice whispers spread throughout the ship captain. Rogers summoned Kate to her office, her face thunderous. "What have you done, Mason?" "She demanded. The princess is pregnant. How is this possible?" Kate had prepared for this moment but still felt her heart racing with fear. It happened naturally. Captain Lyria and we developed feelings for each other. The pregnancy was unexpected, but we're happy about it. The captain slammed her hand on the desk. "Developed feelings. Do you expect me to believe that she's not human? Mason, this is unprecedented, potentially dangerous. Have you considered the diplomatic implications?" Kate stood her ground. "We're adults, Captain. We made this choice together. The child is healthy according to Dr. Wilson. There are no regulations against interspecies relationships." Captain Rogers rubbed her temples. "What exactly is the princess to you?" "Mason, a friend, a lover, a science experiment. She is the mother of my child," Kate replied simply, "and I am hers. We care about each other and we will care for our child." The captain studied her for a long moment. "Is this why she came here? Was this her plan all along?" Kate hesitated, then decided on partial honesty. "She came seeking freedom. Captain, her society is rigid-controlled. She wanted to experience life differently." News of the pregnancy spread rapidly throughout the ship. Some crew members were supportive, even excited. By the unprecedented development, others were suspicious or concerned. Religious specialist Linda Gray organized a small prayer group for the health of mother and child, while Chief Martinez increased security around Lyria's quarters, citing potential threats. Dr. Wilson became Lyria's official physician now that the pregnancy was public. The doctor was torn between scientific fascination and ethical concerns. "This is completely uncharted territory," she told Kate after one examination. "The fetus appears healthy, but its development follows neither human nor Zeltarian patterns. It's truly something new." As Lyria's abdomen grew, so did her connection with Kate. They spent hours discussing their hopes for the child. What would they name it? How would they raise it? What would they teach it about its dual heritage? Kate shared stories from her childhood while Lyria described the beauty of the Zeltarian homeworld. But their bubble of private joy could not last. When the pregnancy reached its 7th month, a transmission arrived from Earth Command. The message was brief and severe. A diplomatic crisis was brewing. The Zeltarian Empire had discovered Princess Lyria's pregnancy and demanded her immediate return, claiming she had been manipulated or coerced. Earth officials were scrambling to prevent an interstellar incident. Captain Rogers called an emergency meeting with Kate, Lyria, and the senior officers. "The situation is critical," she explained. "The Zeltarians have sent warships to intercept us. They claim we've violated their royal princess and stolen their genetic material. Earth has mobilized the defense fleet in response. We're facing potential conflict because of this pregnancy." Lyria remained calm. "This was anticipated," she said. "My people fear change. They will not accept that I chose this freely." The starward hummed with tension as the crew prepared for possible confrontation. Weapons systems were checked, shields reinforced, and emergency protocols reviewed. Captain Rogers ordered all non-essential personnel to secure quarters while the bridge crew monitored the approach of both Earth and Zeltarian vessels. Kate and Lyria sat in the medical bay while Dr. Wilson performed another scan of the developing child. The princess appeared serene despite the crisis, her galaxy eyes focused on the medical screen showing their baby. "The child has your cranial structure," Lyria observed, tracing the image with a slender finger. "And my neural patterns." A perfect blend. Kate tried to share her excitement, but worry gnawed at her. "They want to take you away, to take our baby." Lyria turned those ancient eyes to her. "I will not return to Zeltar. The High Council would terminate the pregnancy and reprogram my neural pathways. They cannot accept deviation from their perfect order, Doctor." Wilson looked up from her instruments. "The baby is developing normally, but your stress levels are elevated, Kate. You need to remain calm for both their sakes." A chime indicated an incoming transmission. Captain Rogers appeared on the screen. Kate, Lyria, Earth Command has ordered me to bring you both to a secure facility. They want to negotiate directly with the Zeltarians. The three women exchanged glances. Is that an order? Captain Kate asked. Rogers sighed heavily. It's the best option we have. The Zeltarian fleet will reach us in 48 hours. Their weapons outmatch ours. If this turns to conflict, people will die. Lyria stood with surprising grace for someone in her condition. I have an alternative proposal. Captain, there is another power in this sector that might offer protection. The captain frowned. What are you suggesting? The Galactic Council, Lyria said. Their authority is limited, but they maintain a neutral zone where neither Earth nor Zeltar can legally engage in military action. If we request asylum, there we gain time for diplomatic solutions. Captain Rogers considered this. The Council is mostly symbolic. They haven't taken real action in centuries, but they are bound by ancient treaties. Lyria countered, treaties that both Earth and Zeltar have. Signed, if we reach their territory before the fleets intercept us, they must at least hear our petition. The captain nodded slowly. It could work. It's worth trying. Ill set course for the neutral zone immediately. As the starward changed direction, accelerating toward the edge of settled space, Kate helped Lyria back to their quarters. The princess moved more slowly now. Her pregnancy advanced enough to affect her normally fluid movements. Will the council really help us? Kate asked once they were alone. Lyria settled onto the sleeping platform. I cannot be certain. They rarely intervene in disputes between major powers, but our situation is unprecedented. The child I carry represents something new, a true hybrid between distant species. This has implications beyond our personal circumstances. Kate sat beside her, taking her hand. The feeling of Lyria's skin was always strange, slightly cooler than human temperature with a subtle vibration beneath the surface. Why would they care about one baby? Lyria made. Her bell-like laugh. Species integration is the greatest taboo among advanced civilizations. Kate most maintained genetic purity as a matter of cultural survival. The Zeltarians have perfected their genome over millennia, eliminating disease, aging, and mental variation. Humans are still evolving, still changing. That is why my people both fear and are fascinated by yours. Our child challenges fundamental assumptions about genetic compatibility and species boundaries. Kate felt the weight of these words. Their baby wasn't just their baby. It was a revolution, a challenge to the established order of the galaxy. No wonder the Zeltarians were willing to send warships. The journey to the neutral zone took 3 days. During that time, transmissions flooded in from both Earth and Zeltar. Earth officials demanded scientific data about the pregnancy, while expressing concerns about interspecies pathogens and genetic contamination. The Zeltarian messages were colder, threatening military action if their princess was not returned, promising consequences for theft of royal genetic material. Captain Rogers managed these communications with diplomatic skill, emphasizing that both mother and child were healthy, that no coercion had occurred, and that the Starward was seeking peaceful resolution. She refrained from mentioning their destination, buying precious time as they approached the neutral zone. On the 3rd day, Chief Martinez rushed into the medical bay, where Kate, Lyria, and Dr. Wilson were conducting another examination. Both fleets have changed course, she reported. They know we're heading for the council. They're trying to intercept us before we cross the boundary, Captain. Rogers called from the bridge. We're pushing the engines. Beyond safety limits, we're venting plasma to gain speed, but it's going to be close. Dr. Wilson looked worried. I'm concerned about the stress on Lyria. The baby's vital signs are fluctuating. Kate held Lyria's hand tightly. Can we make it to the neutral zone? In time, Lyria's galaxy eyes suddenly widened. They are here, she whispered. The ship's lights flickered as something massive appeared on the sensors. A Zeltarian battlecruiser had somehow jumped ahead of them, blocking their path to the neutral zone. Its massive form dwarfed the Starward, glowing with energy signatures that indicated weapons preparing to fire. Captain Rogers' voice came through the comm system. They're demanding we drop shields and prepare to be boarded. They want the princess before Kate could respond. Another alert sounded. A second massive ship had appeared, this one bearing Earth insignia. "We have company," the captain reported. "Earth forces are taking position between us and the Zeltarian vessel. They're demanding we continue to Earth space." The standoff lasted hours. Both massive ships held position while the Starward hovered between them. Trapped, communications flew between all vessels, growing increasingly hostile. The Zeltarians threatened to destroy the human ship, if necessary, while Earth commanders warned that any aggression would be met with equal force in the medical bay. Lyria suddenly gasped, her hands going to her abdomen. "The baby," she said, her voice strained. "It responds to the tension. The neural connection is strengthening." Dr. Wilson ran another scan. "The fetal brain activity is off the charts," she reported in astonishment. It's as if, before she could finish her thought, all ship systems suddenly flickered. The lights dimmed, communications cut out, and even the medical equipment shut down for several seconds. When power returned, Captain Rogers' voice came through, sounding confused. "Something just happened," she said. "Both the Earth and Zeltarian vessels are reporting similar power fluctuations. And there's something else. A new signal is broadcasting on all frequencies." Moment later, a voice unlike any Kate had heard before echoed through the ship. It spoke in a language she didn't understand, yet somehow she grasped its meaning. It was the voice of the Galactic Council, ancient and powerful, declaring immediate interest in the situation. Captain Rogers sounded stunned. "The Council ships have appeared out of nowhere. Dozens of them. They're surrounding all three vessels. The Council is invoking the primary protection protocol. I didn't even know that was real." Lyria smiled weakly as she lay on the medical bed. "It is real," she whispered. "The oldest law in the galaxy. The protection of new life forms." Within hours, representatives from the Council had boarded all three ships. Their appearance was startling. Beings of light contained within environmental suits that shifted and changed as they moved. They spoke simultaneously in multiple languages, demanding immediate cessation of hostilities in the conference room of the Starward Council. Representatives met with Captain Rogers, Kate, Lyria, and delegates from both Earth and Zeltar. The atmosphere was tense as accusations flew back and forth. The Zeltarian ambassador, a tall being with the same lilac skin as Lyria, but harder, more crystalline features, pointed at Kate. "The human has contaminated royal genetic material. This violates 17 interspecies treaties." The Earth representative, a stern woman in a diplomatic uniform, countered. "Princess Lyria came to our ship voluntarily. Any relationship that developed was consensual. This is a personal matter, not a diplomatic incident." The Council representative, a shifting form of light and energy, raised an appendage, silencing both. "The Council has observed with interest the development of this situation. We have scanned the life form growing within Princess Lyria. It represents a true genetic hybrid consciousness, a new type of being." Everyone in the room fell silent as the Council representative continued. "The unborn child is hereby declared a galactic citizen with inherent rights. No power may interfere with its development or well-being. We establish a protected zone around this vessel, where neither human nor Zeltarian forces may interfere until the child is born and its nature fully understood." The Zeltarian ambassador hissed with anger. "This is unprecedented. The princess is Zeltarian property. Her genetic material belongs to the Empire." Kate stood, anger flaring. "Lyria is not property. She is a person who made her own choice." The Council representative pulsed with energy. "Property claims are irrelevant. Life transcends ownership. Princess Lyria has requested asylum within Council protection. This is granted. The child she carries represents potential evolution for both species. The Council has voted no interference will be permitted." The Council's ruling was unprecedented. For the first time in centuries, the symbolic governing body had taken decisive action, establishing a protected zone around the Starward where neither human nor Zeltarian forces could interfere. A Council vessel remained alongside the science ship, providing both protection and observation. For Kate and Lyria, life settled into a strange, new normal. The crisis had passed, at least temporarily. But they remained at the center of an interstellar diplomatic situation. Representatives from 12 major civilizations had gathered on a neutral station nearby to establish protocols for the childs. Future politicians, scientists, and religious leaders debated the implications of the first human-alien hybrid. Meanwhile, aboard the Starward, the pregnancy progressed. Lyria entered her final month, her normally slender body now dramatically changed by the growing child. Her iridescent skin stretched tight over her abdomen, sometimes becoming almost transparent. Revealing glimpses of the baby within, Kate stayed by her side, helping with the increasing discomfort Lyria experienced. The princess's people didn't normally give birth naturally, so the process was challenging for her body. Dr. Wilson monitored both mother and away, child constantly fascinated by the unique development. The child moves differently than a human fetus, the doctor noted during one examination, more purposefully, almost as if it's already aware. Lyria nodded, placing Kate's hand on a spot where movement was visible. Our child has Zeltarian neural capacity with human emotional depth, a combination never seen before. Kate felt a powerful kick against her palm. The baby's strong, she said with pride. Much of the crew had come to accept the situation. Some even expressed excitement about welcoming the first hybrid child to the ship. Lieutenant Amy Parker from Engineering had organized a baby shower presenting Kate and Lyria with handmade gifts. Botanist Greg Martinez had cultivated special plants for the baby's room that produced soothing scents safe for both human and Zeltarian biology. Even Captain Rogers had softened her position. History will remember this child, she told Kate during a private meeting. Whether that history records it as a bridge between worlds or the beginning of conflict depends on how we handle these next months. Not everyone was supportive. Chief Martinez maintained increased security around Kate and Lyria's quarters, citing threats from extremist groups on both sides. Some religious crew members kept their distance, speaking in whispers about unnatural unions. Religious specialist Gray continued her prayer group, now divided between those who saw the baby as a miracle and those who considered it an abomination. The birth approached, the Galactic Council expanded its involvement. A specialized medical team arrived, including experts in both human and Zeltarian physiology. They brought equipment designed to handle any complications that might arise during the unprecedented birth. In preparation, Kate and Lyria created a small nursery in their now shared quarters. Kate built a crib from materials gathered throughout the ship, while Lyria programmed the environmental controls to maintain conditions suitable for a hybrid child. They discussed names and futures. Lyria learned to sing human lullabies while Kate studied Zeltarian child-rearing texts. We will need to be flexible, Kate said as they prepared the space. Our baby will be unique, neither fully human nor fully Zeltarian. We can't predict everything. Lyria made her bell-like laugh. That is the point. Kate, unpredictability. Adaptation, change. These are the gifts your species brings to ours. Our child will forge its own path. The birth began during a diplomatic summit arranged by the council. Representatives from 12 major civilizations had gathered on the neutral station to establish protocols for the child's future. Kate remained by Lyria's side through the 20-hour labor process, as Dr. Wilson and the council medical team monitored both mother and child. The birthing process combined elements of both species. For Zeltarians, birth was typically a mental process, as much as physical. The mother's consciousness guiding the child into independent existence. For humans, it was intensely physical. The hybrid baby required both. Kate held Lyria's hand, providing emotional support, while Zeltarian mental techniques helped manage the pain. When the moment finally came, Lyria gave one last push and Dr. Wilson caught the baby, a tiny being with pale violet skin and unmistakably human eyes. Kate felt something shift in the universe as the child took its first breath and let out a cry that sounded like both a human wail and Zeltarian crystal tones. It's a girl, Dr. Wilson announced, placing the newborn on Lyria's chest. She's perfect. The baby looked up at her mother's with eyes that seemed to hold the same galaxies as Lyria's, but with human warmth and curiosity. Her skin had the iridescent quality of Zeltarians, but with the rosy flush of human circulation. Her tiny hands reached up with delicate fingers that ended in slight points. Kate touched the child's soft cheek, feeling tears run down her face. "Hello, little one," she whispered. "Welcome to the universe." Lyria cradled the baby, her galaxy eyes shimmering with emotion. "She is the first," she said softly, "the first to choose her own destiny." They named her Nova, a new star born from two distant worlds. News of Nova's birth spread rapidly throughout. Known space images, carefully controlled and limited by the Council, showed the healthy baby with her two mothers. The reaction was mixed. Some worlds celebrated the birth as a new era of species cooperation. Others expressed concern about genetic contamination and cultural preservation. Religious leaders from dozens of planets offered contradicting interpretations about the spiritual significance. As Nova grew, her unique nature became apparent. She developed faster than human babies, but more slowly than Zeltarian offspring. By 6 months, she could speak simple words in both languages. By 1 year, she was forming complete sentences and showing signs of the psychic sensitivity common to Zeltarians. Most remarkable was her adaptability. Her body could adjust to various environments, shifting slightly to accommodate different atmospheres, temperatures, and gravity levels. Her mind seemed equally flexible, learning concepts from both cultures with ease. When exposed to ideas from other species, she integrated them naturally, creating her own unique perspective. The Galactic Council maintained its protection as Nova grew, studying her development with intense interest. The implications were profound. If humans and Zeltarians could produce viable offspring, what about other species? The foundations of galactic social order had assumed genetic incompatibility between distant evolutionary paths. That assumption was now challenged. Earth and Zeltar eventually reached a tentative diplomatic agreement. Both recognized Nova's right to exist and develop freely. Both claimed her as a citizen of their respective worlds. Kate and Lyria were granted protected status, allowed to raise their daughter without interference, though under observation. The Starward continued its scientific mission, now with significant modifications to accommodate the famous family on board. Kate returned to her engineering duties, while Lyria served as a cultural liaison between humans and various alien species they encountered. Nova became the ship's unofficial mascot, beloved by the crew who watched her grow with wonder and affection. When Nova was 3 years old, she demonstrated an ability that shocked even the Council observers. She could instinctively communicate with species that neither humans nor Zeltarians had ever successfully understood. Her hybrid neural patterns allowed her to form connections that had previously seemed impossible. "Look," Mommy Nova said one day, pointing to a view screen, showing a gaseous entity the ship had encountered floating in deep space. "It's singing about the stars." Kate and Lyria exchanged glances as Nova began humming a strange melody that somehow matched the movements of the gaseous being. The ship's linguists had been trying to communicate with the entity for weeks without success. Captain Rogers recognized the potential immediately. Nova's unique abilities could revolutionize interspecies communication. As Nova grew, so did her influence. Other hybrid children were born in the years that followed as more species explored genetic compatibility. The galaxy was changing one child at a time. On Nova's 7th birthday, as she blew out candles on a cake made with ingredients from 5 different worlds, Kate and Lyria watched with pride. Their daughter was neither human nor Zeltarian, but something new, something beautiful, something unexpected. What had begun as a supposed prank had evolved into something that would forever change the course of galactic history. And it all started because an alien princess chose a human mother for her child. Nova looked up at her mother's, her galaxy eyes shining with human warmth. "What happens next?" She asked a question that neither Kate nor Lyria could answer. "That my little star," Lyria said, touching her daughter's cheek, "is for you to decide." Kate smiled, wrapping an arm around them both. "That has been the point all along. The greatest gift we could give you, the freedom to choose your own path." Nova nodded thoughtfully, then smiled a smile that combined human joy with Zeltarian serenity. "I think I will choose many paths," she said, "some that exist already and some that I will make myself." And as the Starward continued its journey through the stars, Nova, the first true child of 2 worlds, looked out at the universe with eyes that could see possibilities no one else had ever imagined.